Right, let's dive in straight into the message for the collective. What would your higher self like to communicate to you? That's that kind of intention I had when I picked up my deck. Let's get you a few cards. Okay, you are finishing here something like, with the strength, 10 of swords. So you might be really weighed down at the moment, like, or finally, like, have that strength and that courage, that bravery to get up finally. Like, you might have been under this weight of these swords, and struggle to move, struggle to take some action, struggle to get on with your life even. But it feels like, strength landing next to it, and I'll show you the next two cards. So with strength and this 10 of swords landing next to it, it feels like you finally getting this strength and this power, this drive as well in here to get up. Like, literally get up from this slumber, from this heaviness of your own thoughts that you've been under, because swords is a big thinking processes. So it feels like your head has been at it, like, and it feels like you finally, like, literally, because when it comes to this mouth of the lion, so I feel it heavily refers to your mind. Like, you are like literally looking into your mind's eye, and you kind of taking control of the way you think, because let's not forget, thinking creates reality. And with the Two of Wands and the King of Wands, so this is like a double confirmation of the fact that you getting that strength and you moving on, like, you're moving forward with your life. And with the King of Wands on your terms, like, you taking that charge, you taking that control of your reality, of your life. And with this Two of Wands, I feel it also refers to you taking a new direction in life, maybe having that strength as well next to it. So it feels that maybe something that previously have been out of your comfort zone. So I feel like a lot of you in here is reaching out for something that maybe before was unattainable because of your heaviness of your head, heaviness of your healing process that you've been going through. But with this King of Wands, you taking charge, my love. Right, this is going to be the new thing I'm going to be doing. So this is the short version that's going to get uploaded on TikTok and Facebook. But if you want to, because I'm going to dive deeper into this message, and if you feel that resonated, and if you want to dive deeper, please follow my link on YouTube. Right, hello and welcome. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you felt interested in and felt called to dive deeper into this message, thank you so much. Nice to have you here. Before we get into the second deck, let me just finish shuffling this one and to see what are you overcoming in here and what you're looking towards. My God. Right, King of Cups, Four of Cups with the Lovers, the World, the Devil, Queen of Cups is in here as well. So we've got too much much of water energy in here, and then a Six of Wands. Wow, okay, so I feel that a lot of you in my collective in here, what you kind of sort of overcoming, what you're closing out, I feel like, with this King of Cups, Four of Cups, the Lovers, so I feel it speaks heavily of your feeling of unworthiness, like, in terms of receiving love. So I feel like, a lot of you are, and having that World and that Devil. So I feel like, you've been under some kind of a spell in here. And for some of you as well, what's coming through with this message, like, take it how it resonates as well, because it might be referring to a person, like, that you are closely connected to, or somebody with whom you've got that, red string attached to, looking at that Devil. So it feels that somebody in here, in this connection, in this spread, feels that, previously might have felt that, love, like, this Four of Cups, even if it's been handed into them, or if universe presented something to them, like, they would not accept it. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the feeling of unworthiness, of the feeling of, like, that everything is lost, that, you've experienced everything, and there's nothing new to look forward to. But having that King of Cups coming out as well with this Lover, so I feel like, this speaks of somebody who finally kind of recognizes the power of that heart of theirs and the power of their sensitivity, and instead of maybe fighting with it, like, with this Ten of Swords looking at again, so instead of fighting with it, of fighting against that sensitive nature and that sensitive heart. It feels like somebody here is finally taking that control, like, you know, you're looking at that King of Wands again, and with this World in here, like, you know, it feels like, you know, you're coming out on top. There's like a big energy of overcoming this poor mindset and this thinking of that, you know, things are not coming in, or you're not worth for these things to come in. But also with this Devil. Sorry, there's like a strange energy in here. So with this Devil as well, I feel like it speaks about somebody in here being, and you know, let's not forget that the chains on the Devil, they are loose, and obviously the whole Devil is also an illusion. Like, you know, Devil is something that we create and that we let in, that we allow to control, take control of our lives. So I feel like, you know, there's like some kind of a spell that has been hovering over a certain person here in this connection that was unable to meet, you know, their lover, their counterpart, their soulmate at the level that they wanted them to, because of, you know, they did not see, like, this Four of Cups, they couldn't see or understand what truly is in front of them. But having Queen of Cups and having that Six of Wands, I feel like, you know, there's like this recognition finally waking up. And obviously with the Six of Wands, there's a big energy of celebration, of success. Yeah, and it's Nine of Wands, nine Hermit as well showing on the bottom. So this heavily speaks here about somebody who is got this wounded healer energy, somebody who, and I feel it has a lot to do with that sensitive nature coming back to it. Somebody who, because of the big heart and because of feeling a lot, you know, there might be this need to shoot everything out, or not deal with anybody or with anything. Temperance is coming out as well. But I feel like, you know, there's some kind of a balance that needs to be restored in here. Some kind of balance has been disturbed, definitely. Hold on, let me just get more cards. So what happened here? Oh my god, yeah, Five of Swords, Knight of Swords, Hierophant is here, Knight of Cups. So I feel like this speaks of energy of something like, you know, definitely being on the way to you. And I feel with this Five of Swords, which heavily speaks about some kind of miscommunication. So this refers to someone in here that, you know, you had some kind of miscommunication with. And I feel like this lack of communication, looking at that Knight of Swords and that Hierophant, is what's stood in a way, or what is still kind of making this person withhold. And I feel like, you know, they are the ones withholding from this communication, which is a very, very stupid. Like, what's going on here? Yeah, they withholding from this communication because you're having this Four of Swords and this Queen of Pentacles. I feel like, you know, when it comes to you, they feel that, you know, their nature, the way they are, maybe will disturb your peace. Like, you know, there's like this energy of wanting to keep themselves away, stay away, not to disturb your peace. Like, you know, but there's Three of Cups with this Ten of Pentacles and Five of Cups. So I feel like, you know, there's a big regret in here, in the sense of losing the friendship, losing the bond in here, and crying over that spilled milk. Yeah, with the Two of Pentacles, there is this indecisiveness in them still. Oh my god, I don't like reading like this, because yeah, this feeling of, like, you know, making that choice, wanting to come forward towards you, but then still feeling like, you know, with this Temperance, looking at it again, that, you know, maybe in some way it's not the time, or maybe they're not ready, or they're feeling like, you know, there's like this waiting, like, you know, there's this waiting element in here. Right, let me just get some confirmation from the Guardian of the Night Tarot. I have a Two of Cups coming out as a first card in regards to this connection. So we speak here of definitely a soulmate energy. Four of Pentacles, Queen of Cups is coming out again. And there's a Death and there's a Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like, you know, with this Four of Pentacles, this Queen of Cups, I feel like, you know, when it comes to this person, you know, they are massively holding on to your energy and massively holding on to this whole connection, whether you are aware of it or not. But I feel with this Queen of Cups, just because your nature, you know, you also on that sensitive side and you're quite tuned in. So I feel like, you know, you do pick up some of the vibes, and you pick up some kind of, intuitively you sort of know that they still connected to you. That's what I'm kind of heading towards. And yeah, with this Death and this Knight of Pentacles though, I feel like, you know, this speaks of this transformation they might be going through. I mean, Knight of Pentacles energy, so this is something that they're going through very slowly. You've got somebody here who, takes their time. They've got time. What else? But there's an Ace of Cups and there's a Nine of Cups. So I feel with this one, like, you know, this person is starting to slowly maybe realize that, you know, you where they wish come true. And with this Ace of Cups, I feel like, you know, they would like to come forward and offer you that new beginning. But I've got a Moon landing on top of it. Knight of Swords is here as well. And the Devil is here again. So I feel this is their restriction. Yeah, and Nine of Pentacles with the Moon. So I feel like, you know, this Devil and that Moon, so this is the restriction, like, you know, and the withholding from offering you that cup. And I'm stumbling on my words, so I feel this is like the energy of this person, like, you know, they really struggle to get their head around this whole thing with you, like, you know, they're struggling to kind of make a step or make like some kind of solid decision in terms of moving forward with this connection, like, you know. But with this Knight of Swords, I feel like, you know, this refers to them maybe in ways like thinking of that message or thinking of that communication and thinking of what would be the best way to sort of approach this. Because I feel like with this Nine of Pentacles, this Moon, I feel like, you know, this person was withholding from you a lot, and maybe to you they come across as a little bit selfish or a little bit self-absorbed, or it's just all about them and their feelings, yet having that Justice, Four of Swords as well. And so I feel this like, you know, this Four of Swords is definitely speaks of their energy, and this is the second time it's coming out. So this speaks of their energy of like being in this non-movement, non-action, hiding as well, like, you know, there's this big element of hiding away. But funnily enough, like, you know, from this hiding and being like, you know, like on the ground, literally like this hedgehog here, so to like exploding with the open wings and truth, because Justice is a big truth card. So I feel like, you know, and having that Devil, so I feel it might refer to them in parts, like, you know, having this Four of Pentacles. So, you know, there's this certain element of like obsessiveness over you, or not being able to let you go fully. But, you know, with this Moon, there's this element of withholding something, of not coming forward with the full truth, you know. But I feel like, you know, something is building up, and like, you know, with this Justice, this Knight of Swords, this Death as well. And so I feel this speaks of like this big energy of something is ending in their reality, and I feel it has a lot to do with them being this hedgehog, being this little killed up hedgehog on the ground hiding from the world. I think this is what they end in, and this is what they put into rest. Yeah, Page of Wands is coming out. The Emperor is here as well. So yeah, I feel this is them waking up to their true powers. And like, you know, with this Page of Wands, I feel like they might approach the whole situation and like, you know, try to get back into your life in some way, like, you know, and this is going to be in a very light-hearted situation, or like a light-hearted chat up, like, you know, something, you know, because Page of Wands is, you know, low commitment here, like, you know, it's just all about fun, exploring, but having this Emperor as well. So I feel like, you know, this speaks of them stepping into that power. So maybe previously being this Page of Wands, somebody who kind of appears childlike or appears very lofty. So I feel with this Emperor, they want to step up their game. And yeah, it's funny because looking at that sheep on the bottom, so I feel this refers to their past energy. Maybe they have been in that kind of sheep follower, or somebody who doesn't have their own opinion, or doesn't have their own doesn't express their own desires. But I feel this is exactly them standing on top, like, you know, like this Emperor card and this owl as well, which I feel refers to them gaining that clarity and understanding of the fact that they are powerful and they need to step up their game. Page of Pentacles, which is an offer. So I feel they're gonna come in with something small here as well, like, you know, some kind of invitation. Yeah, King of Swords. So I feel this refers to them having some kind of like aha clarity moment. Hold on, I lost the aha clarity moment, because, you know, with the star as well in here, I feel like, you know, they do feel, and the Ace of Swords showing out about him, so I feel like, you know, they do understand now that they want you. Yeah, Seven of Cups. So it feels like maybe they they've been confused in the ways of approaching you, approaching this, and I feel it has a lot to do with like yeah, Queen of Wands is here as well. So, and I feel it has a lot to do with maybe, you know, you intimidate them a little bit, like, you know, with this Queen of Wands, or maybe they feel like, you know, you are you joking? King of Wands is here as well. Oh my god, look at these lions. So, and lioness. So wow, okay, so I feel this speaks of this mutual attraction towards each other. There's a 10 of Wands, so I feel this is this heavy burden that you both maybe carry, or you both, the past or your past experiences are slightly standing in a way of, you know, this working out. And especially that you're dealing with somebody here that, like I said, is withdrawing, is hiding and avoiding that communication, which I feel is the only thing really needed for this connection to move forward. What else do we have on the bottom? 10 of Swords again. So yeah, we started with 10 of Swords, we're gonna finish with 10 of Swords. So I feel like, you know, the obstacles here, 5 of Swords is here as well. So I feel it's a lot to do with that thinking processes and overthinking it heavily as well. And maybe like, you know, this feeling of like, oh, this is ended, like, you know, this has ended. 7 of Wands as well, 3 of Cups on the bottom with 10 of Cups. So, oh god, so this like this defenses, and I feel like, you know, both of you are putting up some kind of defenses when it comes to this. Like, you know, at the moment you maybe are both still in the phase of your life where you are still figuring out yourself, figuring out what is it that you want to do. Maybe at the moment you are a little bit more inclined towards, you know, some fun with friends, and like, you know, and at the moment I feel like there's this defense against romance, and I feel you both in some way have this barrier put up in front of yourself. But deep inside, like, you know, with this 10 of Cups, like, you know, you both crave this ultimate happiness and this everything really. But yeah, this 5 of Pentacles with this Temperance as well. I'm noticing Ace of Wands, so that's a new beginning, passionate beginning. But also, like, you know, I feel that, you know, you two tend to be a lot in your head, and you both have that capability, like, you know, to stop yourself from manifesting all of that, like, you know, because there's something in your head that tells you that, you know, to play it small, or that tells you that, you know, you are not meant to have certain things. But this is your confirmation that, you know, both of you are absolutely deserving of this connection. And I feel that, you know, this what I'm kind of feeling as well for a lot of you. This is one of those things that you're going to be coming back to this, you know, for the rest of your life. You're going to be, you know, this is going to be one of those, oh, that one that got away, this kind of energy. And yeah, looking at this spider in that web. So I feel it speaks as spider, not spider. Spider's not in the web, is a freaking fly. So I feel this speaks of like firefly, actually, even. So it feels that it speaks of you catching something important and not letting it go away, like that spider, like, you know, catching things in their net, making sure they stick to it. So I feel this kind of refers to that new beginning as well, like, you know. And yeah, I'm looking at the Judgment, so it feels like, you know, there's this wake up call, and there's something ending in the terms of feeling unworthy, or feeling that you can't have this with this person. But for a lot of you, like, all you need to have, and I feel like once you drop these defenses and try to at least clear the air, try to at least have that conversation about what happened, because I feel a lot of you are hiding from that. A lot of you are kind of not even had the conversation about whatever happened. Things just went quiet. You swept it all under the rug, but, you know, the dust keeps spilling out bit by bit, because it feels like, you know, there's something unfinished here for a lot of you in my collective. And it has a lot to do with a certain conversation that needs to be had, some truths that needs to be admitted. And then, yeah, and then you can see how the things go forward from there. Right, okay, I'm going to leave you with that. And thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.